The coin jackpot. What if a simple $quarter in your pocket was worth more than $85,000? Yes, you heard that right. Some rare quarters have valuable minting errors that turned ordinary coins into hidden treasures worth a fortune. These coins could be sitting in your coin jar, your drawer, or even in your spare change without you realizing it. Today, we're counting down the top $quarter with incredible mint errors that collectors are willing to pay over $85,000 for. Don't spend another coin before watching this video. You might already own one of these rare treasures. Let's get started and discover the top $quarter worth over $85,000. A quarter worth $35,000 sounds like something out of a treasure hunting movie. But a few rare 1999 Georgia state quarters have shocked collectors with remarkable values thanks to minting errors, elite condition, and extreme rarity. Most people spend these coins without a second thought. Yet somewhere in an old coin jar, forgotten piggy bank, or dusty collection folder, a hidden treasure may still be waiting. The year was 1999. Across the country, people suddenly started checking their pocket change. The reason? The launch of the state quarter program. Every new release created excitement, and Georgia became one of the first states honored in the series. The reverse design is instantly recognizable. A large outline of the state of Georgia dominates the center. Inside that outline sits the famous peach, representing one of the state's best-known agricultural symbols. Branches of live oak frame the design, creating a look unlike any previous U.S. quarter. Millions were minted. Millions were spent. But hidden among those ordinary coins are a handful that experienced something unusual inside the mint. And those mistakes are where our treasure hunt begins. Before examining any Georgia quarter, look near the date on the front. You'll find one of three mint marks: P, Philadelphia Mint; D, Denver Mint; S, San Francisco Mint Philadelphia, and Denver struck coins intended for circulation. San Francisco produced collector-focused proof versions. While all three mint marks attract collectors, the real value often comes from unusual minting errors rather than the mint mark alone. That's why experienced treasure hunters inspect every detail. Imagine massive machines running hour after hour. Metal coils arrive. Blanks are punched. The blanks are cleaned and prepared. Then enormous presses strike designs onto the metal with tremendous force. The process is fast, extremely fast. When millions of coins are produced under that kind of pressure, mistakes occasionally happen. Most are caught. A few escape into circulation. Years later, collectors search for those survivors. The first clue may appear as a strange raised line, not a scratch, not damage. A genuine die crack begins when the steel die develops a fracture from repeated use. That crack transfers onto every coin struck afterward. Some die cracks are tiny, others create dramatic lines across the design. Typical value range: small, die crack; $5 to $25 moderate die crack; $30 to $100 major visible die crack; $150 to $600 plut. Most dramatic examples often attract the strongest collector interest, but much bigger treasures are still ahead. Now we enter one of the most visually exciting categories. An off-center strike occurs when the blank isn't perfectly aligned beneath the dies. Part of the design never gets struck. The result looks immediately unusual. Collectors love errors that can be spotted instantly. Typical value range: slight off-center; $25 to $80 moderate off-center; $100 to $500 major off-center with visible date; $600 to $3,000. The more dramatic the displacement, the more desirable the coin often becomes. And if the date remains visible, value can increase substantially. This is one of the most famous treasure categories in coin collecting. A doubled die isn't created during the strike. It originates during die production itself. The result? Letters or design elements appear doubled. Hunters often inspect. Liberty. In God we trust date numerals, design details inside the Georgia outline. Strong examples are far scarcer than many people realize. Typical value range minor doubling. $25, $100 clear doubling, $150, $800 strong. Double die examples, $1,000, 4,000 powers. These varieties often require magnification, making them perfect hidden treasures. Some of the strangest Georgia quarters were created when foreign material entered the striking chamber. Grease, metal fragments, cloth fibers, debris. When trapped between the die and coin, these materials interfere with the design. The result is called a struck-through error. Every example tells a different story. Typical value range minor struck-through, $20, $75, noticeable struck-through, $100, $400 dramatic struck-through error, $500, $2,000, plus collectors enjoy these because every piece is unique. A broad strike happens when the retaining caul fails to contain the coin during striking. Without that collar, the metal spreads outward. The coin becomes larger than normal. The effect is immediately noticeable. Typical value range mild broad strike, $50 to $150 strong broad strike, $200 to $800 exceptional broad strike, $1,000 to $2,500 plus. Their unusual appearance makes them favorites among error collectors. The treasure hunt gets more interesting here. Before striking, blanks are punched from large metal sheets. Sometimes the punches overlap. When that happens, part of the blank is missing before the coin is even made. The finished coin displays a curved missing section. Typical value range. Small clip, $40, $150 medium clip, $200, $700 large dramatic clip, $800, $3,000 authentic clipped planchets remain highly collectible. This is where serious collectors become very interested. Finding one error is uncommon. Finding two or more on the same coin is considerably harder. Imagine off-center plus die crack, broad strike plus struck through, double die plus clipping. These combinations can become headline-worthy discoveries. Typical value range minor combinations. $500, $3,000 strong combinations. $4,000, $15,000 elite examples. $15,000, $35,000. These are the coins that inspire treasure hunters to search through thousands of quarters. And today's hunt starts with one of the most overlooked quarters in America. Now comes the factor many people underestimate. Condition. An error alone doesn't guarantee a huge value. Preservation matters enormously. Collectors examine surface quality, luster contact marks, eye appeal. Strike sharpness, professional grading companies assign numerical grades. A coin graded MS-67 can be worth many times more than the same coin graded MS-63. In some cases, a rare Georgia quarter with a significant error and near-perfect condition becomes exponentially more valuable. That's where extraordinary auction prices can emerge. Here's the fascinating part. Most valuable coins weren't discovered immediately. Many sat unnoticed for years. Inside jars, inside dresser drawers, inside inherited collections. Someone overlooked them. Someone spent them. Someone ignored a tiny detail. Then one day another person spotted the clue. That's how treasure hunts begin. So before you spend another $19.99 Georgia quarter, pause for a moment. Look closely at the peach. Study the lettering. Inspect the edges and surfaces. Because hidden among millions of ordinary quarters may be a rare survivor from the mint's busiest production lines. And somewhere tonight, a valuable Georgia quarter is still waiting for the person curious enough to notice what everyone else missed. Imagine pulling a quarter from an old jar, glancing at it for a second, and discovering it might be worth $31,000. Sounds impossible? For most 2000 Virginia state quarters, 25 cents is all you'll get. But hidden among millions of ordinary coins are rare errors and exceptional examples that have turned simple pocket change into serious collector treasures. Today, we're going on a treasure hunt to uncover what makes certain Virginia quarters so valuable and what clues you should look for before spending one. The year was 2000. America was fully caught up in the excitement of the state quarter program. Every few months, a new design appeared, and people everywhere began searching their change for coins they had never seen before. Then came Virginia. The design wasn't chosen by accident. Instead of focusing on a building or state symbol, Virginia featured 3 historic ships: Susan, Constant, Godspeed, Discovery, vessels that carried settlers to Jamestown in 1607. Beneath the ships appears the phrase, Jamestown 1607-2007. It's a design packed with movement, history, and detail. And that detail is exactly why collectors examine these coins so carefully today. Because sometimes hidden among the sails, lettering, and ship lines are minting mistakes worth real money. Every treasure hunter starts with identification. Look on the front of the coin near the date. You may find P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. Philadelphia and Denver produced coins for circulation. San Francisco mainly struck. Proof coins intended for collectors. Most Virginia quarters are common, but certain examples from any mint can become valuable if unusual minting. Errors are present. That's where the hunt begins. Picture thousands of metal blanks moving through giant minting machines every hour. The process happens fast, very fast. A blank enters the press, massive dies strike it with tons of pressure. The design appears instantly. Then, the next blank arrives, and the next, and the next. When production moves at that speed, even a tiny mechanical problem can create unusual coins. Most errors are caught, a few escape. Those are the ones collectors chase. The first type of treasure is often overlooked. Die crack begins inside the steel die itself. After repeated use, stress creates small fractures. Those fractures leave raised lines on every coin struck afterward. Many people mistake them for scratches. Collectors know better. Typical value range: small die crack, $5 $20 visible die crack, $30 $100 large dramatic crack, $150 $500 plars. The most desirable examples often cut across major design elements, making them easy to spot. Not life-changing money yet, but we're only getting started. Now things get exciting. An off-center strike happens when the blank isn't positioned correctly during the strike. Part of the design misses the coin completely. The result looks strange immediately, and collectors love that. The more dramatic the shift, the greater the interest. Typical value range: slight off-center, $20 $75 moderate off-center, $100 $400 major off-center with visible date, $500 $2,500 plus. The date is important. Collectors want proof of what coin they're buying. A strong off-center strike that still shows 2000 can command impressive premiums. This is one of the most famous error categories. A double die occurs during die creation. Letters or design details appear duplicated because the die itself received a misaligned impression. On Virginia quarters, collectors inspect. Liberty, in God we trust. United States of America ship details. Date numerals. Strong examples can be surprisingly valuable. Typical value range: minor doubling, $25 $80 moderate doubling, $100 $600 strong double die, $800 $3,500 plies. These are among the most carefully searched varieties in the state quarter series. This error creates some of the strangest looking coins. During production, foreign material enters the striking chamber. It could be grease. It could be metal fragments. It could be cloth fibers. When the coin is struck, those objects interfere with the design. The result is called a struck-through error. Everyone is unique. Typical value range: minor, struck through, $20 $60 noticeable example. $100 $300 major struck-through error, $400 $1,500 plus. Some collectors specifically hunt these because no two examples look exactly alike. Imagine the coin expanding beyond its normal size. That's what happens during a broad strike. Normally, a collar keeps the metal contained. If the collar fails, the coin spreads outward. The design still appears, but the shape changes. Typical value range: mild broad strike, $50 $150 strong broad strike, $200 $700 exceptional broad strike, $800 $2,000 plowers. They're dramatic, easy to identify, and highly collectible. Now we're entering territory many people never notice. Before striking, Coin blanks are punched from metal sheets. Sometimes the punching process overlaps. The result is a blank missing part of its edge. When struck, the finished coin appears to have a curved section removed. Typical value range: small clip, $40, $120. Medium clip, $150, $500. Large dramatic clip, $600, $2,000 plus. A genuine clipped planche can be surprisingly valuable when authenticated. The greatest treasure hunters know one secret. Multiple errors on a single coin create serious excitement. Imagine off-center plus die crack, double die plus struck through broad strike plus clipping. Those combinations are dramatically harder to find. Typical value range: minor combinations, $500, $2,000. Strong combinations, $3,000, $10,000. Exceptional examples: $10,000, $31,000 plus. These are the coins that make headlines among collectors. They are rare, very rare, but they exist. And that's why people continue searching rolls, jars, and old collections. Here's the part many treasure hunters overlook. Condition often matters just as much as the error. Two identical error coins can have completely different values. Why? Wear, scratches, luster, eye appeal? Professional grading services assign numerical grades. Higher grades mean stronger demand. For example, an error worth $300 in circulated condition might bring over $2,500 in a high mint state grade. A rare double die worth $1,000 could multiply several times if preserved in exceptional condition. That's why serious collectors handle valuable finds carefully. The condition is part of the treasure. Most Virginia quarters are ordinary. That's the truth. But treasure hunters don't search millions of coins because every coin is valuable. They search because occasionally one stands out. One unusual line, one missing section, one doubled letter, one striking mint mistake, and suddenly a common quarter becomes something collectors compete to own. Tonight, before you ignore that pile of spare change, take another look at any 2,000 Virginia quarters you find. Study the ships. Inspect the lettering. Check the edges. Because somewhere, hidden among millions of ordinary coins, a rare Virginia quarter is still waiting to be discovered. And the next person to find that hidden treasure could be holding it already without even knowing it. What if the quarter sitting in your change jar right now could be worth $19,000? It sounds unbelievable, but a handful of 2,000 Maryland state quarters have sold for astonishing amounts because of rare errors, exceptional condition, and collector demand. Most are worth just 25 cents, but a few became the kind of coins that make collectors stop in their tracks. Before you spend another quarter, you may want to take a closer look. In the year 2000, the United States Mint was deep into the hugely successful 50-state quarters program. One of the standout designs was the Maryland State Quarter. Released as the 7th coin in the series, the reverse design features the magnificent dome of the Maryland State House, one of America's oldest state capitals still in legislative use. The design also includes clusters of white oak leaves, symbolizing Maryland's state tree. At first glance, nothing about the coin screams rarity. Millions were produced. Millions were spent. Millions still circulate today. Yet hidden among those ordinary quarters are a small number that collectors actively hunt because tiny minting mistakes transformed common pocket change into valuable collectibles. And that's where the story gets interesting. Before diving into errors, it's important to understand the mint marks. The 2000 Maryland quarter was struck at P mint mark, Philadelphia mint D mint mark, Denver mint S mint mark, San Francisco mint, primarily proof versions for collectors, most coins from Philadelphia, and Denver entered circulation. The San Francisco issues were specially made for collector sets and often display sharper details and mirror-like surfaces. But regardless of mint mark, errors can occur. And when they do, values can jump dramatically. The minting process seems simple, but it's actually a high-speed industrial operation. Large metal coils are punched into blanks. The blanks are heated, cleaned, and prepared. Then enormous presses strike each coin with tremendous force, imprinting the design in a fraction of a second. When millions of coins are produced at incredible speed, even tiny mechanical problems can create unusual varieties and errors. Sometimes those mistakes become the most valuable coins in the entire series. Let's look at the errors. Collectors search for one of the most frequently discovered Maryland quarter errors is the die crack. Die is the hardened steel tool that stamps the design onto the coin. After striking thousands of coins, stress can cause the die to develop small cracks. When that happens, raised lines appear on the coins produced afterward. Most die cracks are minor and worth only a small premium. However, dramatic die cracks stretching across major design elements can attract serious collector attention. Typical value range: minor die crack, 525 strong visible die crack, $30, $150 major dramatic examples, $200, $500 plus. The larger and more unusual the crack, the greater the potential value, but that's only the beginning. Now things get much more exciting. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned when struck. Part of the design appears missing while another section shifts toward the edge. Collectors love these because the error is immediately visible. Slight off-center strike may look interesting. A dramatic one can look spectacular. Typical value range: 5% to 10% off-center, 20, 75, 15% to 30% off-center, $100, $500. Large off-center strike with full date visible, $600, $2,500 plus. The date remaining visible is critical. Without the date, value often drops significantly. This is one of the most misunderstood errors in coin collecting. A true double die occurs during die creation, not during the strike itself. Letters, numbers, or design elements appear doubled because the die received a misaligned impression during manufacturing. Collectors carefully inspect the word "Liberty in God. We trust United States of America." Design details on the reverse strong doubling can create significant demand. Typical value range: minor double die, $25, $100. Noticeable double die, $150, $800. Exceptional examples: $1,000, $3,000 plus. Authentication is important because many forms of machine doubling can resemble genuine doubled dies. Sometimes foreign material enters the striking chamber. Grease, cloth fibers, metal fragments, or debris can get trapped between the die and coin. The result is known as a struck-through error. These errors create unusual missing details or strange impressions. Every struck-through coin is unique. No two are exactly alike. Typical value range: small struck-through area, $20, $80 moderate. Clearly visible example, $100, $400. Dramatic struck-through errors, $500, $2,500 plus. Collectors often pay more when the error creates a visually striking appearance. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar fails during striking. Without the collar containing the metal, the coin expands outward. The coin becomes wider than normal while maintaining most of its design. These errors are easy to identify because they appear larger than standard quarters. Typical value range: minor broad strike, $50, $150 strong broad strike, $200, $700. Exceptional examples, $800, $2,000 plus. The more dramatic the expansion, the more collectors tend to notice. This is where serious money enters the picture. Occasionally, a coin leaves. The mint with more than one error. Imagine an off-center strike combined with a die crack, or a struck-through error paired with doubling. These combinations are much scarcer than single-error coins. Typical value range: two-error combination, $500, $3,000 major combination errors, $4,000, $10,000 and under the right circumstances, elite specimens have reached values approaching the kind of numbers mentioned at the beginning of this video. Here's what many people miss. The error alone doesn't determine value. Condition can multiply it. A circulated error coin with scratches and wear might sell for a few $100s. The exact same error in pristine condition could sell for several thousand. Professional grading services evaluate surface preservation, strike quality, luster, eye appeal. Grades often range from MS60 to MS70 for uncirculated coins. The jump from MS65 to MS67 can mean a dramatic increase in value. The rarest Maryland quarters are often those with both a significant error and exceptional preservation. That's the combination collectors dream about finding. Most 2,000 Maryland quarters remain worth face value. That's the reality. But hidden among millions of ordinary examples are coins with die cracks, doubled dies, off-center strikes, struck-through errors, broad strikes, and rare combinations that collectors eagerly pursue. A quick inspection could reveal something unusual. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Examine the lettering. Look for missing details, strange shapes, or unusual raised lines. Sometimes the difference between 25 cents and hundreds or even thousands of dollars is a tiny detail most people never notice. So the next time a 2,000 Maryland quarter lands in your hand, don't rush to spend it. Because somewhere out there, a collector is still searching for the next spectacular error coin hiding in plain sight. And one tiny imperfection could be the clue that turns an ordinary quarter into a coin worth far more than anyone expected. And the most valuable Maryland quarter might still be sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket right now.